Hi, good day, and thank you for tuning in to the Microdose Diet. So my guest today is Lisa Chastain. And Lisa is a professional money coach who empowers women to improve their finances. So stay tuned because Lisa and I will discuss the blocks that many of us face on the road to financial success, and you don't want to miss that. So my name is Peggy Van de Plassche. I'm a former banker and venture capitalist, and now I speak and write about the benefits of alternative medicines, like microdosing psilocybin as an example, for professional and personal growth. So you can check me out, Substack, LinkedIn, YouTube, the usual socials. So Lisa, thank you so much for being here today. I'm really excited about this conversation. It's going to be fun.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, the first question that, when I was looking at your profile, what you were doing, I was like, why did you decide to focus on personal money for women with your book, your program, and really your entire career?
I think it chose me, is the short answer. I didn't initially go into the finance industry for that reason. I had it on my heart. Well, one, I was making a big change in my career, and I had been working for a university my entire adult life. And in my 30s, I had an awakening, and I was like, one, I want to be a business owner.
Hmm?
And two, I want to have unlimited earning potential.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know how I was going to do that. But the first carrot that was dangled in front of me was to be a financial advisor.
Yeah.
So the first opening and window for myself was this could be possible for me. And I went for it. And it was in a high net worth firm with a private RIA, which is a registered investment advisor. I got my licenses. I had to learn a ton about money.
Yeah.
I realized, like my friends that have PhDs, they tell you when they go through a PhD program that you don't really realize how much you don't know when you go through a program like that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I knew nothing about money.
Yeah.
So that was a big learning curve. And so for me, it wasn't actually personal finance that turned me on to finance, but it was through my own personal journey with money, which we can talk about, through my personal failures with money, that I became really passionate about for myself, turning my life around, turning my relationship with money around,
Hmm.
and now doing that for other women.
And what I'm also very interested in is why women?
Mm.
What
Women
was
are the future. Women are the future.
Okay, so you thought that by empowering them, you're going to create more people with the ability to influence and impact the world and really make a difference. I guess I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's how I
It
feel.
is.
Yeah.
It's a vision. It's a vision that I have for women, that when we are also the financial leaders of the world. So this was a 2017 statistic. We've made some progress toward it, but not a ton, not enough, in my opinion, is that 10% of the world's wealth is owned by women.
Hmm.
Yet 50% of the world's population are women.
Exactly. Yeah, that's interesting. So one of the things I'm always very interested in is limiting belief, the
Mhm.
blocks, the resistance. You alluded to your own failure, so I assume you had to deal with your own limiting belief in order to be successful. So what is your approach? What do you see the most frequent limiting belief, especially for women? Explain us your perspective on that.
Absolutely. So today I'm a master certified neurolinguistics practitioner.
Oh, great. Okay.
And so it's through the process of understanding how our unconscious mind works that I'm helping my clients and having a larger conversation about why we actually have blocks about money in the first place. And for me, the one thing that was mind blowing and life altering for me is to realize that our brains, our unconscious mind, cannot acknowledge or see or understand something that does not exist within our own brain. So
Okay.
it's yeah, so I'll break it down for you. The phrase perception is projection.
Yeah.
We are
Exactly.
incapable of seeing the world in any other way than who we are,
Okay.
who
Yeah.
we are. And a lot of our beliefs were formed before the age of 7.
Yeah.
Financial transformation happens when we understand where those beliefs came from, and we can unlock and tap into our unconscious wiring. Because if we don't, even though as women, we might say we want success, even though as women, we say we want to have unlimited earning potential, because of beliefs that that happened to us about ourselves, about the world, and about money before the age of 7, we then started making decisions about ourselves. We won't create the results that we want until we can shift our mindset, and we can do that. It takes time, it takes practice, but it's possible.
Yeah, and I think that's very important. This idea there is a study I really like that's been made on Asian American women, and before a math test. And if you remind them of their gender, they do less good than if you remind them of their race. And it's just, to your point, it's the projection, Asian are supposed to be good at math while women are not. And you're just following the prejudice.
Yes.
And money is the same, because there is always, we say, oh, women are spender. They're not the ones who manage the money. They don't understand. I'm not sure if you saw the Barbie movie. At some point she's like, oh, I have all my money in a saving account. She's playing dumb and waiting for a man to explain her, or man-plainer, should I say?
Yes.
And to your point, I think money on top of that is extremely emotional. So before you're 7, you're getting everything from your family. If you're part of 99% of the population, your parents have not super empowering, mindset related to money. So did you go through that? You were talking about your own failure. So you realize that things that happened to you when you were a kid influenced you in your beliefs?
Absolutely. So if it's true that perception is projection, I was raised in a blue collared family. My dad never made more than $60,000 a year. I remember consciously memories of him telling us, don't take on a leadership role. Don't work more than you have to. Management it's a problem. More money, more problems. So I had to step outside of my own comfort zone and my own belief system to say, that's not what I want. And yet I don't know how to create my life any other way. Because I made decisions about myself. One that you asked me at the beginning is, what's something that I hear women say a lot? And it's the belief that we're not worthy. Well, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
And unfortunately, whether we want it or not, worth in our mind, rightfully or not rightfully so, is very much linked with money. It's very difficult to think you're worthy without a dollar at your name on your bank account. So I'm curious, how did you reprogram yourself? So did you work with, I assume, NLP practitioners because it worked well for you and you went in that direction? Or what was your journey, actually? I'm sure everyone who's going to be listening to that interview is like, okay, I want to understand what my limiting beliefs are, why I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and what I can do about it.
Yes. So it was 10 years ago, almost, it was July 2014 that I went through my first personal development seminar.
Okay.
So almost 10 years ago. And that was the awakening for me of understanding what my limiting beliefs were and how they were creating the result that I had in my life. So I had to take a long, hard look in the mirror and look at all the things in my life that were not working in relationship and financially, of course. So the belief that I couldn't be successful, this was my belief. And I'll never forget, it was October 2nd, 2017. I was sitting in my bed and I had this epiphany that my belief, my decision was that I couldn't be successful without a man in my life. Where did that come from? Well, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, right? I have a twin brother who I was attached to growing up. So for all those reasons, I had to break through and learn how to take new action. And it hasn't been a straight line to success. And most of us, it's not a straight line to success. There have been a lot of peaks and valleys. I'm learning now how to create sustainable success for my business, for my life, but it's taken 10 years. It's a journey. There's no magic bullet. There's no magic wand.
No. And so I assume, at least the way I've been working is with multiple tools. I find it really works well for me. Some people like one tool, and we're all different. As long as it works, it doesn't matter. So NLP is a tool I really like as well. Do you have other tools in your toolbox that have been helping you with deprogramming? Because it's always something. The first step is understanding, okay, what are my limiting beliefs? But very often that's where it stops. Most personal development, professional development books, training, whatever. And it's an important step. But you know what? I was getting so frustrated. I'm like, okay, well, I get it. I know. What do I do now? And so I think now I'm just like, I'm only interested with the tools. I assume there is enough people who are going to talk to you about mindset and, all the limiting belief. Or do you deprogram and reprogram? What has worked well for you? What works well for your client?
Just what you said, awareness plus action. That's where my world is unique. There are a lot of money professionals who give you great tools, but they don't teach mindset. And there are a lot of great practitioners who teach mindset that don't teach tools. In my world, we intersect the two because you have to take new action. It's not enough to, like you said, shift the mindset. You have to be willing to take new action. So for me, I also invest in coaching so that on a weekly basis, I'm challenging beliefs and I'm taking new action. That's hard. That's hard. And that's where the transformation happens. Is being willing to take new action.
What I saw for me was I could take new actions, but then I would self-sabotage. So tapping really helped me, and, different tools, because, my nervous system, my emotional body, energetic body, all of that were so out of whack. So even if I could change mindset, it's like the iceberg. The mindset is the top. So I can look at it and say, I'm going to make great decision.
Yeah.
But then in conscious, it's like, well, you're worth 60,000.
Yes.
The example of your dad, you're worth $60,000. Yeah, let's make sure you go back to that. And that was for me more this: how do I change the knee-jerk reaction?
I love that.
I would take the action. That would be difficult and require a lot of willpower because it trigger a lot of fear. But then it would, systematically go down. So I found if you don't change, if you don't upgrade the software, it's gonna bug every time.
I love that. And that's why I'm so excited about the work that you do, for that reason, that it is a whole body approach. One of the things I did last year, I knew I was going to be on this new journey. I knew that I'd be taking on bigger things in my career. And I worked with a chiropractor and a network chiropractor to help unlock not just in the mind, but in the body trauma, and unlock in energetically. That you're spot on. It has to be all encompassing. You have to take new action, but you have to know how to regulate your own nervous system.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you just like flight or fight as soon as you start something new. I'm interested. So you were mentioning women have this, I'm not worthy enough. What are the typical blocks or challenges, or even challenges you see for women? Because if they know, they might be a bit better at spotting them.
Well, we all have blind spots.
Yeah.
So there are the things that you know about money. And for most of all of us, what we know about money was taught to us or modeled to us, and it's how we're currently operating. But if we don't like the results that we have, then we have to lean into a conversation about there are things that we know we don't know. which is there when you hire a coach or you take a class. You're like, I don't know anything about how to invest. I know I don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then there's the things that we don't know that we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
And where that is where you're going to unlock those blocks, and I'll talk about a few of them, would be with a coach, because the same person, AKA me, that created the problems that I have in my life won't be the same person to get me out of it.
Yeah. You can see it.
You can't see it. So some of the common blocks when it comes to money is I'm not worthy is a huge one for men and women. But a belief of, even unconsciously, if you could pay attention to your language and how you speak about money, those are your blocks. So money doesn't grow on trees. That could be a belief or a decision that you heard growing up.
That's my husband's favorite. He's like, well, if money was, and every time he says that, I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, stop back, like, but yeah, like all this, all this stupid little sentence, all this quote that people brainwash themselves by repeating it every day or whatever. Yeah. So the money ground tree, I think we all get that at some point.
Yeah. Well, and the other major block that I see is that money becomes an either or conversation.
Yes. I like that you point that out. Yes.
I can have money or I can have love.
Exactly.
I can have success or I can have time with my kids.
Yeah.
And so we sabotage because we don't know how to bring those two together.
Exactly. There's the duality. It's fake duality.
Yes.
But I think especially as women, and you point out the money and love, the idea of, okay, you don't, earn more money or be more powerful than your spouse. So there is also all of that playing in the background, I would say even more for women. I think men, it's a lot about not necessarily making more money than their father. There is a lot with the father. But yeah, that's interesting. I agree with you, listening to your words, super important. You're going to, this little whatever, but also understanding that it's not true. You can have both. You can be a good person and have money.
Yeah.
You're not stealing to others if you're rich, but you're coming from blue collar. I do as well. And there is very much this mindset that, wow, it's a choice between having a family, being happy, or having money, or being good. So one question I have, how did you see the impact of religion, maybe? So I'm Catholic, and I can tell you that, oh my God, the money thing. So French and Catholic, money is really like a dirty word. And I'm still realizing every day, oh my God, that's coming from 20 years in Catholic school, and you need to be poor, you need to be poor to be,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I'll challenge that it probably didn't even start, and I don't know when you became Catholic or where that started. For a lot of us, it can be ancestral. It can come from generations before us, that they learned that that is embedded into who you are. And you have to be willing to challenge that and go, is that true? Is that true? And if you are submitting to the authority, it would have to be true. But as a woman, are you ready and willing to challenge who you were born to be by God, by God's will? If you believe in that God, how did God design me and who do I get to be? This is the generation, Peggy. I believe this in my heart. This generation of women, we are here to shift and alter the way that women live. And that doesn't have to be the case. How we were taught does not have to be the case. We can challenge our beliefs and we can still have love and kindness. We can challenge the systems that we were raised in and build a healthier world. I do believe that. It's going to require us to have hard conversations. And that's another thing that holds women back, is our fear of being vulnerable and our fear of because how long have we been told that crying is weak?
Yeah.
But when we can tap into that heart and that vulnerability, I think that's where our power is. And we're living in a world that's craving that. We just have to step into all leadership in our life, and finances right along with it. It can't be either or.
Exactly. I think finance at the end of the day is a tool.
Yes.
The more freedom, financial freedom you have, the more you can have an impact, influence others, and just shine your light brighter. I have a last question for you. So you were talking about modeling. So how does an empowered woman act around money? What does success in the personal money sphere looks like?
What does it look like?
Yeah.
I think everyone, we all get to ask that question. That would be my call to action to anyone who's listening today, to a woman who's listening specifically, is what does success mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
For some women, it's going to look like Angela Merkel. And for some women, it's going to look like Melinda Gates.
Mm-hmm.
For some women in America, it's going to look like Michelle Obama or Oprah or Ellen. Modeling is who are the people that I respect. And it could be as simple as someone in your hometown. It doesn't have to be right, someone elevated. It can be, wow, this woman, this leader in this community or in my company. I'm going to obsess. I'm going to have the courage to get to know them. I'm going to ask for mentoring. How did they pave the way? Which is why my podcast I love so much, is because I'm telling stories from women of how they created success, whatever that means for them. We need to get curious and we need to be willing to talk about it.
Well, that's the thing as well, but it's interesting what you were mentioning before. I realized that my girlfriends and I were talking more and more about money.
Mm-hmm.
While before it was a topic that was a bit taboo and, not really to be brought up. But now it's just like, okay, one of my girlfriends wanted to buy a very expensive car. I'm just like, why? Why do you need to allocate so much money? You can, but ask yourself the question, is it because everyone is doing it in your law firm? Is it because you really love that car and whatever? Is it because you think you're going to resell it at the same value in 5 years? I don't know. Maybe you think there is a business case. I don't think there's many business case with cars, but before you would have just said, oh, great. Oh, good for you. While now people are like, well, where did you shift your investments? Where is your money invested in? And I understand a lot of my friends are professionals, a lot are in finance, but even 5-10 years ago, we wouldn't have had that conversation, actually.
Yeah, let's redefine success.
Yeah, and to your point, it's very personal as well. And but you want to make sure it's your definition. And you're not bringing your mother's, your father, your entire ecosystem when you're writing what is success.
Yes, absolutely.
And you need some deprogramming already to be able to do that. So we just have a couple minutes left. Where can people find your work with you? I'm sure many people listening are like, okay, wow, I think I can do better. And she's going to help me with that. So can you tell us in a few words? I know they can buy your book.
Yeah, absolutely. So my first book, Girl, Get Your Shit Together, was written with mindset in mind. So if you're looking for some action items, it's not just great conversation. It's at the end of each chapter, some action you can take and work that you can do. It was written by a coach. And I want you to, if you want to try me on as a coach, read my book, take the action. Also, I have an online course. It's a stop budgeting course. The stop budgeting course teaches my systems in my way, coupled with mindset. If you want to have a new outlook on your money, be willing to look at it. I'll show you how to do that in my world. I also have a YouTube channel where all of my podcasts are housed, so you can be a part of those conversations, Lisa Chastain, and then also Instagram, or just go to my website where you can find everything, which is lisachastain.com.
Okay. That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for, taking the time and sharing your insights. I think it was just enough for people to understand, but also give them the curiosity of looking maybe for more. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Peggy.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah, you as well.